So, in my historically and often proven to be true infinite wisdom, I did a stupid. What? Default VFX trail for the next 12 hours. To unlock this file chip permanently in your collection, purchase the design for your. The fuck is that? Usually I'm on top of everything with Destiny. I've never even heard of the VFX trails. So, I'll be checking that out in a second. But I did not know that Destiny or Bungie had reverted back to the, you know, break the act into the first 3 weeks thing. So when I was grinding so fucking hard with the Tome of Want, trying to get to the next step, that was not necessary. I had just reached the end of the part for that point. So, with that knowledge in hand, we continue. Because I believe I saw somebody, like, post, like, oh, yeah, the next shit's ready to go. So, yeah, I know all that shit's there. I know. Let me make fucking sure. See, there we go. New thing. So, that being said, this is probably going to be a short one then if it's going back to the, okay, these probably take like an hour each to knock out. So, let me put myself down here and pick up where we left off. That said, mission dossier. A Lucent Hive collaborator has alerted Deputy Commander Sloan to a possible anchor incursion in Savathun's throne world. It needs to be dealt with. You were tasked with investigating a potential anchor incursion that would link Savathun's throne world to the Dreadnought. This information came to you by way of a Luzaku, who claimed to be a friend and bids you to walk in the sky. Dialogue from Zivu Araf and Sloan may be missing from this activity. As you can see, like, her dialogue's still showing up there and it isn't fully functioning, which is unfortunate. But that means I will be just taking up the role of playing Sloan and Zivu as needed, I suppose. Before I hop on in there. This ought to be fine. I want to see what this hollow key shit is talking about was here. Art and Adoration. Once purchased for silver, you may claim this item again from collections. Claim a hollow chip extractor from collections to end the effect early. This visual effect is suppressed while in combat. I can't preview it though. This is wick. I wouldn't even know what this would fall under. Oh, this would look great on my Touch of Malice if I fucking had one. Having raid groups must be nice. Ooh. both of these. Maybe I'll get that. I feel like I should. It's not they really need. Okay. Fuck my eyes then. I'm not blind enough, Destiny. Hit me again. Give me that War Mind experience.
Hey, Killer. Luzaku and Finch got us in here without Savathun knowing. But she'll get all three eyes on us soon enough. Which is fine by me. I'm spoiling for a fight.
This one knows not the answers you seek, but understands your anger.
I doubt that, Worm Breath. Just stay out of our way.
Would you talk bad about Basku? Luzaku, you are a precious soul. You're allowed to speak whenever you'd like. What does this shit?
There's a tangle of taken energy down in the Temple of Cunning. Everything points to a new aversion anchor, same as the one in the EDZ. Nothing happens down here without Savathun's say-so. She must want it for a reason. Got no idea how it fits in with the Dreadnought, though.
Neither does this one. But in time, all things can be revealed.
I'm just happy that Luzaku is still being used. I was worried she was just going to be like left after the, lost sector and just be like, oh, that's enough of her. They took your mind. Assume it's this way?
The anchors smooth through the Ascendant plane like a knife through taken butter. No easy thing. It's hard to punch a hole, even harder to keep it open. But cutting right through a throne world? Those are like barnacles on the back side of the Ascendant plane. That kind of power makes me nervous.
Shouldn't be surprising that Oryx would have something that could literally rip a hole through the fabric of reality. But, like, multiple realities is kind of crazy when you think about what a throne world is. I could go just as deep into, like, Destiny God lore as, like, actual mythology lore. But I don't know if I should or not. I don't know if that takes away from the whole theme of, like, what the channel's supposed to be and all of that. I don't know. We going down there? Yeah, that was the only way to go, I think. Yeah. Haven't been here in a while. do the puzzle again? Or is there a route around here? I should be able to fit through that.
There it is. Just as creepy as you left it.
Walk in the sky, guardians.
Still need to parkour around it? Or... No, I think should be able to just go straight ahead. I remember this. Cheers. There we fucking go. He's just always here, like, notice? Oh, hey. Doing good. Sorry, I was focused on the screen. Didn't see anybody was typing, but hey, I'm doing good. Stream just started, so, like, not much has happened yet, but... Yeah. What are you doing? Hi.
You
Okay.
just can't stop meddling, can you? You Guardians destroy everything you can't control.
You want that?
This is my world, my throne. Nothing exists here without my say-so. Including you. So, in light of recent events, I believe we have a few things to discuss.
Right.
Imaru thanks you for your hospitality, but our transaction is concluded. My ghost is back at my side where he belongs.
How'd you get it back?
He told me everything. Oh, Eris. What a loss. Poor dear is in a better place. That's what humans say, isn't it? To comfort each other. Is that comforting? There. That's over and done with. Respects paid, condolences offered. Now I have a warning from my favorite guardian. Stay away from my brother's dreadnought. Stay away from my sister. This is a family matter. And nothing is gained by making an enemy of me. I think Eris would agree. Now leave.
Shit.
You gonna listen to that? You're gonna let Savathun talk about Eris like she knew her? You knew her. She never looked away from danger. Always got right into the thick of things. You know, she found something in me I thought I'd lost. Now she's dead. And what she found's dead too. I just can't shake it. That bone-deep feeling. And I felt it before. She's gone. Because I care.
How is this in any way your fault? Like, I've had more than my fair share of people in my life who will look at any situation, no matter how, like, tangential their connection is to it, and will be like, yeah, no, this is my fault somehow. Like, brother, you went with her to the ship to protect her, and you guys got jumped. You were occupied. This has nothing to do with the fact that you gave a damn about her. Dude, and I just noticed that you followed. Thank you for the follow, Casual Zone. Again, I'm so focused on the screen here, and the pop-up does not have a sound effect this time on this thing here. So again, I'm sorry about that. Shit. It's either the Wukong setup I have where it jump scares me every time somebody follows me, or the Destiny one where I don't know why the audio for this ain't working at all. I need to get that figured out. To a Guardian, we need intelligence, then we can deal with the Taken. Where the fuck? Oh. It is. Break chests, find items, basically. concerns me that, like, Savathun implied that she doesn't see us as an enemy, and this is how she treats us already. So she's gonna get pissed off about this. It's gonna be so fucking bad. Some shit out here. Guys, turn the fuck around. Oh, I cannot. That is a wall. Survivability I could get. even say that, but nice. That's what I thought the objective was going to be. Like, look for the old fucking Cabal soldier corpses and just scan them for data. Good thing you actually can. Momento then? Ah, fuck me. You did follow me in. Today, buddy. Where the fuck did you go? I think it's still hit. There. Here we go. Those guys are marked. Actually, I don't think I haven't. Hold on there. Six out of 12 so far. Oh, check over there. So long as everybody just keeps their attention over there, please disregard. Please make my life easy. this when Graviton Lance just deleted a room? Either that or I'm just trying too hard to not die right now. There we go. That's the Lance I know and love. Almost when I knew how to aim. Well, do it. Add the jack shit. Nice. Oh boy. What kind of fucking steroids did they give warlocks for this thing? I also don't know what this is. always did whatever she set her mind to, regardless of the risk, and regardless of who told her no. I can respect that, but that risk gets an edge when you encounter something you're not ready for. We can't let ourselves be caught off guard again. We're going to peel this place apart until there's nowhere to hide another ambush. Oh, chase that forever. Curious. Bleak Watcher turrets are enhanced and grant ice projectiles to weapons. Ooh. Vampire-ish. Just want to know what that was. That's nice too, though. I don't know if reciprocity or unrelenting is better for like healing myself. That's kind of just what I wish the weapon would do. I suppose being able to heal myself through general combat without a fire team around is going to be more helpful, so. Let's see how that feels. Got 8, so hopefully one more run and that should take care of that. Trying to see my computer there now. I sure do love it when my story content is interrupted by grind. Será. The aversion anchors are forming all over the system. We need to root them out at the source, find a way to stop them. Get to it, Guardian. We need intelligence, then we can deal with the Taken.
Hit back, killer. Run him down.
Thank you. Okay, so it counts for all of us too, which is even better. sure we don't miss a chest or nothing. No, I'm wondering if there's gonna be like, well, I guess there is endless mode with explore, but like, I mean like, I expected like this mode to basically just keep going on and on. Like, you would do, 3 rounds, whatever, get a boss round, then keep going instead of you do 3 rounds and that's it. Explorer is basically that, but in that sense, that also bothers me because I thought Explorer was going to be just freely explore the Dreadnought and look for, like, any secrets or whatever. So, I feel like a whiny bitch for being like, oh, neither of these modes are exactly what I thought they were going to be, but nothing wrong with that. If I want to go do a, like, proper, what am I thinking, roguelike, then, well, I still gotta go for Hades and actually finish that game. And then, pray to the gods that one day Hades 2 will get released on console or something. This is over there. Did this gun shoot? Finally. Okay, go to the shaping slab in the last city. I feel like a dick for leaving in the middle of this, though.
Whenever you dust a Taken, they get sent back to the Ascendant Plane. Then, they come right back to fight again. Only good thing is they couldn't take any more. Now they can. And no one here knows why.
Yeah. I don't want this to turn into like another like unnecessarily long stream because I got stuck doing like the activity that has nothing to do with this. And the Nether isn't really that hard. Definitely. Yeah. Oh no, no, there. Okay, this is. Wander the Tome of Want and employ your new powers to drive back the Scourge of Taken and Dread in the Nether. Okay. Is that it? That doesn't feel right. Let me see something. Because I'm paranoid. And probably for the best that I backed out then, because if I was gonna finish the rest of that, come back here and be like, oh yeah, no, that's it for now. So like one semi-story mission anyway, go look for some items in the fucking dreadnought, and then wait till next week. Then I'm gonna punch a Bungie employee. guess it just subs 12 through 15. Okay, so I guess there is more. I just don't know what I'm supposed to do there. Unless if it's like just do the shaping slab or something. I saw more steps there just now. Like I found one online guide here, and there was like some additional things to do like after that. And that there's no way that can be it. Just like one story mission, gather shit. No. Yeah. Might be. Apologies for keeping you sat here while I just thought trying to figure that out, but I guess that might be it for now, which I guess it would make sense. We're on step 15, so there's only about like 6 steps to get to 21, so they might want to save all that for next week then, which sucks, but I'll leave it as is. I'll be playing anyway, and if another step pops up, then I'll wait and like stream the remainder of it, but looking at it does make sense there. So leave it at that. I suppose that being said, then there just has some closing thoughts for like just taking up a whole shitload of time doing fuck all. Um, this feels like it was made with the intent to be released all at once, like they were doing with the Revenant episodes, and then they decided to like backpedal on that, so this got chopped up with the first part being decently length, making sense and like working great. This just kind of being like, just rip out the middle. We're just gonna, yeah, put it there. There we go. And then hopefully the last part next week, if that's how that works, is probably gonna be better because it'll have the ending chunk of it there. So this feels a little weird, but hopefully like remainder of it will be better. This was just kind of just letting us know that Savathun is involved and is concerned with like the events happening. With that in mind, though, so that's interesting because that's already saying that Zivo Araf is making moves on the Dreadnought, given what she said, and Savathun. It, I don't know if it's a weird theory of mine to think that there's some sense of mourning in her actions because it's very, very clear that Zivu Araf adores Oryx. Like she does nothing but praise him and the dirt he walks on. But Savathun is interesting to me because to some degree she definitely cares and loves her family. It's hard to take anything she does at face value, but when you consider that the hive definition of love is to try and kill something, and that way you're either releasing someone from the suffering of existing, or if you fail to kill them, then you have just, proven to them that you're strong enough to survive and you deserve it. And, sense like killing yourself is like getting yourself out of the way, like, like, well, yeah. Anyway, on to you and your greater pastures or whatever is ahead of you. So I can't tell, and suppose that's good on the writer's part, or really just anything that's Sabathun touches in terms of the story, that I can't tell what she really feels here because I feel like she's also just kind of become detached from her family as well. Since we don't really know what the Echo does yet, as opposed to like the last 2 seasons, and we can't tell if she just wants that for herself either. But that's what I feel like is going to be a major theme for the season here. Just like what is the state of the Hive Pantheon now? One's dead, one's been rendered mortal, and the third's betrayed the religion itself. So the Hive themselves are fucked because their faith has completely collapsed in on itself, and they've got nothing but just like coping to the highest degree at this point, much like the Destiny player base. But it kind of feels like they're scrambling for meaning, both like the Hive themselves, Zubo Raph especially just kind of looking for something to justify her belief, and this thing that seems to have pulled Oryx back from the dead, it's likely going to be something she's going to latch onto with like the saving grace of her faith. And that's assuming if it's even the Echo that brought him back, or if like, you know, in the books of sorrow, it's shown that Savathun and Zivu Araf kind of sacrificed themselves for him, where they said, "Yeah, kill us to add our power to yours." Then he, through an act of cunning, resurrected Savathun, and through an act of war, resummoned Zivu Araf. So it's possible maybe Sivu did like some great act that brought Oryx back. The confusing thing about Oryx as a god, and maybe I should talk about just like how fucking the Hive gods work and how they're like compared to actual deities, because I think like Destiny does, in my opinion, a good job at depicting of what a deity is, being a personification of a concept. And not in the sense like how a lot of media portrays it, where like when they want to take that route, writers usually go with like if I die, this concept goes with me. It's more like the god exists because the concept exists. Like, but in a weird way, they're not dependent on that thing existing either. It's This is the kind of thing that I've come to an understanding by just thinking about it for an obscene amount of time. But and once you try to like regurgitate it back out, it's impossible. Zivu Araf, for example, um, war does not exist because Zivu Araf exists. She came into being based off of war and feeds off of it. So, as it was stated several times leading up till like now, like fighting Zivu Araf directly felt impossible because any act of aggression or war just fed back into her and made her stronger. Because we keep empowering the concept of war. Or in Savathun's case, everything she does is a misdirection in some sense because she needs to, by her nature, lie. Not because of like a, well, sure, there's the rule with the worms and stuff, like you have to keep abiding by like whatever your nature is, you get stronger, blah blah blah. But it's also just who Savathun is to lie to people and misconstrue them, lead people in the wrong direction, fuck with people's heads. To divert that to an example for like a actual classical deity, let's go with Greece and we'll go with Eris. So Eris is the goddess of discord, and she causes pain and strife wherever she goes. But it's not because of a cosmic rule ordaining she has to. It's just her nature. She just is a sadistic person, and it just lines up with the domain, let's call it, of what she rules. So when it comes to how Destiny depicts like gods and stuff, with Savathun, I think it's fitting that like she's like her role comes from her nature, as was Zivu Araf's. Before she became a god, she was just naturally a fighter and just said she was going to throw hands with everybody. My issue is with Oryx, I can't nail what he's the god of. He's often referred to as the navigator, and at best I can interpret that as him being a god of leadership, which is strange because the Hive are usually associated with negative things, which, through their perspective, are tools of survival. And when they're constantly clashing with everybody around them, including themselves, leadership is a strange concept. So I guess that would make sense why it's called navigation, because he's just pointing them in a direction more so than leading them as a collective society. So maybe I answered my own question there. So less the leader, more so he who points the gun. That's interesting. But then to tie it all back to what even made me go on that tangent there, what would be an act of navigation for Zivu to use to bring Oryx back? I don't even know if Bungie would bother going down that route here, and if they're just going to say the Echo brought him back to life. And it bothers me because that's been what every Echo has done. Like, the the idea of the echoes interested me because now we were getting a bunch of items that were introduced into the universe that would mess with the rules probably, or hint back to some of the societies the witness destroyed as they were implied. But the echo of control lets you mind control Vex and pretty much bring them back as improved versions of themselves. It's not exactly the same as resurrection, but like Maya just, was taking Vex, breaking them down, rebuilding them as something better. The I'm gonna call it the spearhead echo that Fikril had. Kills Elixni, turns them into Scorn, but is also implied that it could have done like significantly more than that, like show visions, have some degree of sentience, like apparently be powerful enough to rebuild a planet. So I guess it actually has the power to reshape reality, and Fikril is just too simple-minded to use it for anything more than just make more Scorn. But still, that's what its main use was, and that's what the season was themed around. Like, it was supposed to be vampire hunter themed. We're hunting, like, undead creatures. So again, brings back the dead. If this Echo's whole purpose is just bring Oryx back from the dead, then it feels wasted, because you might as well have just made that the theme for all of the Echoes then. Just, these are shards of the Traveler that bring the dead back to life, because the Traveler has its whole thing is it brought Guardians back from the dead. It brought things back from, you know, the ground. So might as well have just made that the whole thing then. I guess in marketing that sounds lame because it's just saying like, okay, we're just like gonna start rehashing villains and use the Echoes as an excuse to bring them back. But at least that would have been simpler and not created a playground for theory crafting that would have gone far beyond the writer's intent. Like, I think I was always satisfied with like any Destiny expansion because I took it at face value. Just whatever I saw in the trailer was like, that's what's going to be in the game, and I don't anticipate more. So whatever comes out, it's just like, yep, that is fully what I expected, and I am good. But the presentation of the Echoes was too open ended. Just some things flew out of the Traveler. Who knows what they do? And so far, all of them have just been resurrected dead in some sense or another and place all their control in the hands of one person. And I'm concerned that's what Oryx's Echo is going to be. Something that brought him back and is giving him some degree of control over the Dread. That's my concern. But my hope is that the Dread are acting independently here, and we're just going to get mixed up with between them and Oryx's shit. If it just turns out that Oryx is basically the new witness, then it would make Final Shape feel like null in a sense. Like we've been building up to a fight with the biggest antagonist in the universe, knocked him down a peg, and then a couple months later, he's already got a replacement with effectively the same goal. The Witness wanted to perfect the universe, which through its methods would have just killed everything in it. Oryx just straight up wants to kill everything that he can because he thinks he's making the universe better that way. So trade out the Witness for the Fitness. That was just a weird, like, multi-limbed tangent for about, like, you know, mythology as it pertains to Hive Gods and furthermore on. If I had known I was going to talk about that, I would have, like, found a way to mesh it into a more cohesive statement that just kind of came out of me because it's something that's been in the back of my head. I could also throw Nezarek in that because I like how Nezarek is a deity that is tied to his concept, where, you know, by the fact pain and fear exist, he doesn't truly cease existing. His physical corporeal form is just a thing that he has, but it's not him. So obviously, we kill him in the raid. He just casually tells us, "Well, that sucks. Anyway, I'm gonna haunt your nightmares forever, bitch," and then comes back through Mizrax and tries to possess him, which that also feels a little wasted because, you know, we never got to hear Nezarek speak. We just saw him drive Mizrax insane a little bit, but then like Eris just alt for yeah F4'd him, and that was it. But I'm hoping that means that Nezarek isn't gone because his consciousness was still floating around and speaking to us like even after, like, I mean, not after, long before the whole actually no, hold on. Yeah, we collected Nezarek's pieces, and then he broke it down to T, and then okay. But that means then that Nezarek was like festering within Mizrax while also simultaneously existing as himself. So okay, even cooler then. Nezarek can exist within multiple beings at once. So, point is, Nezarek is a deity that truly embodies his concept, and I'm speaking from the perspective that there are kinds of deities. Nezarek was considered the final god of pain and suffering. So, by his definition, he truly is the essence of pain. Like, I've gone so off the rails with this conversation. I've talked about gods that, you know, they both are like tangential personifications of their concepts without also being exclusively mutually tied to them, where, like, if the god were to die or something, the concept doesn't cease existing, or the concept fading out doesn't stop the god from existing, but they're still also intrinsically tied. So, example, I keep going back to Greek mythology because they exemplify this best. The Greek word for god would be theoi. Theoi means personification, though. So, as an example, Athena, it would probably be more proper to, instead of calling her the god of wisdom, she is wisdom. Athena is like every good idea you've ever had, that's her. Kind of by extension being in your head, just like, boop, oh. If I thought you had that like snap of your synapses and stuff, that's her. But Athena, if you believe in her, would also be a fully sentient separate being on Olympus, let's say, or wherever you want to think she is. So she is both of these things, but also separately these things. You could go even further with divine epithets, so it's hard to describe what that is too, because that means A. I should explain the epithets first. If you ever like seen like some like the surnames that Greek gods are given, like we can use them for an example, is this too. You'll find that there are some that are like have like a list of like extra names at the end. Let's say Athena's most famous one would be Parthenos, which would be like the maiden, because she doesn't go around Sheboygan. So, yeah, Pallas Athena Parthenos would be like her like maidenly aspect that's best represents her as a, you know, I guess keeps to herself non-sexual person. I'm trying to think of another one of them. I remember I drew a picture of her and named it after one of those like epithets here. So where is it? Here. I'm gonna say this so horribly wrong. Hold on. Athena Alakomenes. Yeah, basically it would mean Athena is strong, so her more like physical warrior aspects. These are things that can exist simultaneously, so they don't feel separate. But different example, Aphrodite. We know her as loving, sensual, like love goddess and all that. But in Sparta specifically, they worshipped one of her aspects, which her that surname escapes me. But under that name, she is also a goddess of war. But she's almost the personalities are almost separate. Better example, Orishas from West Africa. They let's use Oshun for example. My aunt was a priestess of hers, Baba Lao. That's why I wear this one. This is for Oshun and for my aunt in her memory. Rest her soul. Um, those are called patakis, which means like paths, stories, so on. But under that, gods can vary wildly. Like Oshun is primarily a goddess of love, goddess of fresh water, and her personality is generally friendly, loving, sensual, flirty, very fun for a deity. But she has some of her patakis depict her in a dramatically different light. There are some where she's like uh, a homeless beggar, a cruel faced stern mother. Like these are all like dramatically different depictions of her, but they're all supposed to still be her simultaneously. So what I mean is every god has dissociative identity disorder. No, like one of the most interesting things about gods is being able to be multiple things simultaneously. So that's what I mean with the, you know, Nezarek was possessing and taking over Mizrax while also simultaneously being a whole corporeal being fighting us in the raid, where he is both of them at the same time but was totally separate at the same time. This is why gods interest me in that the possibilities are endless, and I know I could just be a delusional fuck who's just, you know, saying like, "Ooh, these amazing impossible beings that can exist beyond the rules of what we can understand." But is that not what a deity is generally considered to be? An eldritch being beyond our comprehension? When you start applying it and start looking into this stuff, it is so fucking fascinating, and that's what I really want this channel to be. If I could get comfortable actually talking about it, but right now I feel like I'm just sitting here like mouthing off to nobody. But maybe that's what makes it a little easier. And it feels a little safer that way, because then in this case, if you actually, if you're watching this, you stuck around long enough to see it on YouTube, but at least that way, then you're just like casually absorbing me, you know, mouthing off to the ether. And if you stuck around, you were interested. If you didn't, you said cringe in the comments and left. But on that note, though, if you did just, watch me do like what was probably a 30 a 20-minute quest in Destiny, followed by like pointless grind, followed by me having a full detachment from reality, then thank you for sticking around that long then and hearing me out. Hopefully one day I'll get to a point where I can like put myself in a proper setting to go off on all this stuff in a way that matters and makes sense, and where I can properly eloquate all this. And one day that day will come when I have more time to actually devote to like properly like editing and scheduling and ordering all this shit out. But till that day, thank you for allowing me this. And if you are watching this on YouTube, I'm not one to ask for, likes and follows, especially for this. This stream didn't feel like it deserved it, at least the beginning portion. If you cared at all about the mythology rant, though, then maybe that mileage will vary on that. But if you do so choose, then I appreciate that all the same. It means more than I can put into words. Regardless of whether you did or not, no pressure whatsoever. I hope you have a good day, and your path forward be laden with blessings. You take care of yourself, and you have a good one. And I am going to go scavenge for food from the bottom of the fridge or something. We'll see.